Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. Continuing on the grinder job, when we stopped the project last time, I had managed to cut out the bars and the angle iron and the plate to create this treadle. Now I'm going to try and grind down these pieces. I have to take off this piece of angle iron here, and I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that, whether I'm going to go old style or new style. We'll just have to see. Today I'm going to grind down this piece of angle iron. That's the main bar to replace this one. I need two, one for the left side, one for the right side. I suppose I could run it with 1 foot, but it seems kind of awkward. I'm going to use the bench grinder because it's fast, easy. It's right here, and I can control it pretty well. I could do this with the angle grinder, but I want to do it in the basement. Angle grinder throws iron dust everywhere, makes a big mess. I'd have to do that out in the garage. It's very cold out today, so I'm going to be doing it here in the basement. But because I'm going to be using the bench grinder, that means I have to have face protection. Not only just eyes, this throws stuff up into your face too. And hearing protection because it's a noisy old bugger. So that means I'm going to be talking loudly to you. I apologize. And I'm going to be wearing gloves, not for heat protection. I really don't want to have that heavy a glove on. This is more to prevent me from cutting myself on all these sharp edges and ragged slag from doing the plasma cutting. So I have my apron on, I have my face shield on, I have my hearing protection on, and my gloves. Let's get started. I scribed a line on the back side here. That way I've got something to grind to. That's why you see me flipping it over and look at it. I could have put the line on the front, but then I would have had to fiddle around with this piece of angle iron. The grinder doesn't go that fast that I can't just flip it over and check and make sure I'm close to my line. It isn't one noisemaker, it's the other. That's the furnace running. Now it was my intent to repair these bearings, and it still is possible that I could do that. There's not much left of them. Turns out these are not the correct bearings either. They're similar to the ones that should have come with a grinder, but they're not the correct ones. These might have come with a wheel, but they didn't come with a grinder frame. This bearing is a neat little thing, and I really want to make this work. I think I might spend more time making this work than I ever would trying to make these work. Having said that, I ordered a set of bearings from JSBGreatBearings.com. Fairway Park Drive, Ann Arbor, Michigan. Just a hop, skip, and a jump down the road. Now, I could have probably gotten these in Kalamazoo, but I'm having trouble finding a good supplier of bearings in Kalamazoo. Now, when I worked in Coldwater, Michigan, Coldwater's a little dinky town, they had 3 bearing suppliers. I could go to King Electric, I could go to Southside Hardware. I could even go to the Ace Hardware. Ace Hardware had bearings. And for the cheap home type bearings, I could always go out to Farm and Fleet. Unfortunately, Farm and Fleet went out of business. And Farm and Home Supply, which bought it out, didn't see it as being a positive to have bearings. And I can understand their thinking. They're an expensive stock item, and you never have the right one. I don't care what you try. I don't care who you talk to. You never have exactly the right one for what I want. Online has killed the local hardware store. This is called a self-aligning bearing. That means it has a radius on it. That radius, once you put it into the pillow block, lets you slightly move it back and forth to align the bearing with the shaft. Saves for the mounting. Situation like this is probably a really good thing to have because the frame is not exactly straight, and it'll make it so that I don't have to spend quite so much time making things work. When you look at this, well, there's two ways that's going to work. One, none, and when you look at this, there's two chances this bearing race is going to fit in there. Slim and none. So I think these bearings are going to go on the shelf just as items to say, wow, I wish I could get those going. And I'm going to be going with these. That means I have to make up some pillow blocks. So that'll be another project. And why am I talking about pillow block bearings right now? Well, because I'm waiting for that piece of angle iron to cool off a bit so I can work on it. Now the grinders stopped rolling. I'm going to put these bearings back in the storeroom. Whew. Nice and solidly mounted. Now, using a hammer and chisel, it's not called chiseling, it's called chipping. Because what I'm trying to do is knock a chip off of that weld. You can see that it's actually working pretty well. Now I don't have to really beat on it. With a good sharp chisel, all I'm doing is just peeling off the little bit of the steel at a time. I'm not trying to take the whole thing off. Just trying to take off a little curl like that one. I'm almost through the weld. These things take a while when you do it the old-fashioned way, especially when I'm learning as I go. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments below. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.